You and only you can make this year better than the last. You and only you can start investing early so that your year to date next year will be higher than your year to date this year. Today is why. Not W-H-Y, but the letter Y. And if you know anything, if you've been any further than kindergarten, you know there's one more day left, and that's Z. And we're going to be out of here. I got to think of something else to do, man. This 26-day thing has kind of become a habit of mine. I feel better after I do it. And that was the intent. Let's get it popping, man. Look, let's start with yesterday. Yesterday was tough. I'm just being honest with y'all. X, again, I don't know who invented X, but what were you thinking when you decided to throw X in the alphabet? But no, yesterday was tough. But I want people to understand is this. You know good and well out of 26 letters of the alphabet that when you get to X, Y, Z, this thing is over. I remember way back on E, I was saying to myself, all right, I'm on the 5th letter. I got past the 3 days A, B, and C that we learned, the ABCs. Now I'm on E. I remember saying to myself, if I can just get to J. J is the 10th letter of the alphabet. If I can get to J, I'm almost halfway there because half of 26 would be 13. So if I can just get to J. I remember now when I got down to S, I was like, man, I'm on the down slope now. Can't nothing stop me. I'm going 26 days straight. If I'm on S, you might as well forget it. When I got to X, it was over. It was over. But X is arguably the most difficult letter in the alphabet. So yesterday was the tipping point for me. And you know what yesterday told me as we do Y today? You know what yesterday told me? That anytime you almost at the finish line, watch some of your biggest hurdles and obstacles erect themselves. See, I could have easily gave up yesterday. And that's anything you do in life. Anything you do when it comes to money, anything you do when it comes to business, anything you do when it comes to personal growth and self-development. The hardest part is the end. Because that's when the universe is going to test you to see if you deserve the rewards that are going to be bestowed upon you if you finish. Not if you finish, but when you finish. So I went into X with attitude. I'm like, you think you're going to stop me? Nope. I got X's and O's. We got to run the game. We got to learn this game with X's and O's. I compared it to a tic-tac-toe game. I had to get creative. Put this in your comments. You have to do what you have to do to complete the mission. As long as nobody's getting hurt, as long as you're not stepping on any toes, as long as you do everything in business with integrity, as long as you get money legally, ethically, and morally, you got to do what you have to do to complete the mission. X yesterday was not going to stop me from getting to Y today. So out of 26 letters in the alphabet, why would I let one letter yesterday, so y'all won't get confused, we're on Y today, but I'm talking about yesterday, why would I let one letter out of 26 keep me from hitting my goal? Yesterday was a test. Yesterday was the tipping point. We all have these tipping points in our life where we say, you know what, that struggle, that letter in this example, that obstacle tried to rear its ugly head, but it's not going to stop me. And in this case, let's go ahead and say you. Y-O-U. You have to decide right now that you're going to make some changes. You just do. You have to decide right now that if you want the yacht, if you want the plane, if you want the mansion, if you want, forget material things, if you want the freedom, if you want the flexibility, if you want the ambitions and goals that you have for yourself, your children, and your grandchildren to actually come true, it starts with you. And the minute you stop making excuses and turn those excuses into reasons, you are going to see a difference. See, here's what I tell people. Any excuse you have for not succeeding, that's the reason you need to succeed. Brian, I have children, so I can't start a home-based business. Oh, your children aren't the excuse. That's the reason you need to start a home-based business. Brian, I'm busy. I work 2 jobs. I can't start a home-based business and learn this money game. Oh, really? You work 2 jobs? That's the reason you need a home-based business. Well, Brian, you don't understand. I never grew up with money, so I don't think this is something I can comprehend. Oh, you never grew up with money? Oh, that's the reason you need to watch these ABCs. See, pause for a minute. Yield. You know what a yield sign does? The yield sign makes you just pause for a quick second. Use some caution. Stop and think for a second. And stop giving me all the excuses why you can't do something. And give me the reasons you can. Every excuse you give me, I'm going to flip to a reason. So you, Y-O-U, have to stop making excuses, even if you have to pause. That's why they make yellow lights for a reason. It's giving you caution. That's why they make yield signs for a reason. It's giving you caution. It's giving you some time to think and say, you know what? If it's going to be, it's up to me. Why not you? Why not now? You got to make a decision. And that decision that you make today will affect the rest of your life if you choose to be consistent at everything you do. So the one thing I hope you guys get out of this, as we get one more letter tomorrow, which is Z, is that it's nobody else's life but yours. And you got one of them. You got one of them. So I decided at this age to come out of the year and prove to myself I'm going to do something consistent. Was this easy? Absolutely not. It's been a few letters where I was like, yikes. It's been a few letters where I was like, I don't feel like doing it today. I got some stuff to do. You think they'll notice if I don't do it? Yeah, they're going to notice. I put myself on blast and said I'm going 26 days straight. Yeah, somebody going to notice. Then, Brian, you had the nerve to challenge other people to do it. And then some people would text me in the morning and say, hey, you ain't went live yet. So I'm like, oh, it's starting to catch on. Well, Brian, you know, we waiting on you to make it happen. So what you waiting on? I'm like, okay, they starting to pick up on this. So let me yawn, get my butt out of bed, and get up and do these ABCs. I knew that it was up to me to be consistent. And if you're going to accept this challenge, and not only accept it and be consistent, but employ, like actually do the things that I'm talking about, then that's up to you too. I don't care how old you are. I don't care how young you are. The main thing is you need to get started now. Why is this important? Because the younger you start, and I don't mean your age on this earth, meaning the earlier you begin to learn this stuff, the higher your yield will be when it comes to the return on your money. See, that's why we got to teach our children and grandchildren. Start investing while you're young. You can afford to make mistakes. We got to teach our youth that this is the time for you to learn the money game now. So any mistakes that you make, anything you didn't understand, you got plenty of time to clean that stuff up. Well, guess what? The same thing is true for you as an adult. When I say youth, I'm not talking about number of days or years on this planet. I'm talking about you may be young in this money game. But the sooner you implement the things I'm telling you, the sooner the compound interest can start to work for you and you will see a greater yield, also known as a return on your investment. I was talking to my financial advisor yesterday. We do a consultation like every quarter. Make sure, you know, Brian, you're on the right track. You got your goals straight. You got your will straight. You got your insurance straight. You got your disability straight. Should anything happen to my voice is actually insured because I'm a speaker. So should anything happen to my voice, are you taking care of like all your responsibilities that a lot of people run from, but you really shouldn't? So yesterday I had that same meeting. And what we always make sure is this. One day you're going to have to maintain the current lifestyle that you have without working. Did you guys know that? Like a lot of people miss this. Companies don't pay you more when you leave. So if your lifestyle right now, all your bills, your mortgage, your insurance, your car, whatever, if you can't maintain the current lifestyle you have while you're working, companies don't pay you more when you stop working. So what can we put in place residually, and what kind of investments can we put in place to bring us a serious yield so that when you stop working, the lifestyle you have right now don't change? You ain't got to sell nothing. You don't have to pawn nothing. You don't have to borrow from nobody. So there are two financial goals you have. Your current lifestyle is paid for by your labor, but your future lifestyle is paid for with your investments. Well, if your future lifestyle is paid for with your investments, you got to make some current investments now so that yearly, I would say annually, but you know, got to slide in the wise where I can. Yearly, the money will be working for you. So the sooner you start, the better off you are, the higher the yield will be. So I want you guys to understand, you and only you can decide when to start. You and only you can make this year better than the last. You and only you can start investing early so that your year to date next year will be higher than your year to date this year. You and only you can decide to be more consistent and take these alphabets seriously. And even if you just take 3 bullets from each letter, 26 times 3, 8, carry the 1, 78, something like that. You have 78 bullet points that you can pull from. Even if you just use 3 times the 26 days, you have about 78 bullet points that you can just pull from and say, hey, here's the money game from A to Z. Here's some mind. We always start with the mental. Here's some techniques I need to use to get my mind right so that my money will be right. You got to shift your mindset so you can shift your income. But look, only you can make that decision. Nobody else can do it for you. If not, your tomorrows will look just like your yesterdays. And if you're happy with how your life has been in the past, then do nothing about it today. And I promise you, your future and your yesterday, your tomorrow and your today will all look the same. But if you want your year to date to look different, and you want a higher yield on your money, and you don't want yesterday to be like your future, in fact, you want your future to be brighter than your yesterday, then you have to decide right now that you are going to yield, read the caution signs, take a look in the mirror, do some inventory on yourself to get a different result next year.